What's up, guys? This is Mikey Sports Room, and I am back with another video. I missed you guys. Hopefully, you got a chance to see my latest upload with Cleveland amateur boxer Jamal Bowman Jr. If you haven't, go check that out. Go check that out. There's some good stuff in there. Go check that out. But I think you guys know what I'm really here for, man. Cavaliers season ended last night, and I have to say, we were outgunned coming into this series. It didn't help that we had two starters missing. But those Cavs, they fought. They gave the Celtics, they gave the Celtics a run for their money. Especially these past two games, really tight, really close. I mean, but it just boils down to us just being simply outmatched. I mean, we just couldn't keep up with that Celtic offense. There were times where we would, in both games 4 and 5, I feel like where we got a decent amount of stops. We just couldn't convert on the offense end, and a lot of that is obviously because Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen were out, but I mean, at the end of the day, Boston is the #1 seed team in the East for a reason. So they came out to show that. I mean, I feel like the rebounding battle was huge in this series. I mean, we know how much of a big part that is of our identity. And I mean, when you get out rebounded double-digit times and multiple times by a double-digit margin in the past 3 games, that's not a good recipe for success. I mean, the Celtics, and they just started knocking down shots. I mean, they started knocking down those threes. I mean, we couldn't keep up from 3 for the most part. Jason Tatum, he remembered who he was. He remembered that he was Jason Tatum. He remembered that he was a superstar in this league. He turned up his play after game 1. I mean, averaging 29, 10, and 7 for the rest of the series. That was huge for him as well. So, as well with that, I feel like consistencies is what is a huge problem with us. Especially when you look at our role players, our role players can kind of be inconsistent sometimes. I mean, when you look at Strus, sometimes even LeVert, even sometimes he has some good games, but he can be up and down, erratic sometimes. Niang became pretty much unplayable during the series, as we saw him contribute in the regular season. I mean, when you got guys on Boston, when you have a Boston team that has the potential to consistently have a games where you have 5 or 6 guys in double figures, everybody's producing, and then on top of what Tatum and Jaylen Brown were doing, I mean, it's hard to beat them. It's hard to beat them. I mean, they're the best team in the East for a reason. Props to them, and they move on. You know, man, yesterday I couldn't even really scroll on Twitter after our game. I just saw Cav rumor after Cav rumor after Cav rumor, and none of them were good. I mean, starting with the one with Donovan Mitchell supposedly growing frustrated with our lack of maturity, our lack of focus. The other one with Darius Garland appearing to be growing frustrated with playing alongside Donovan Mitchell. At least that's what the reports insinuate, that if Donovan Mitchell stays, he might request a trade. That's starting to heat up. Apparently, Jared Allen could be on the trade block. That's starting to heat up. Apparently, Evan Mobley didn't really want to get drafted in Cleveland. That was a rumor that his agent kind of urged them to not draft Mobley, and that the Thunder was trying to get our pick to draft Mobley. Just a lot of stuff was coming up, man. And it just felt, I couldn't watch it, man. It was like watching my team. I just felt like, I'm like, wow, are we really about to self-implode like this? But I mean, the offseason is officially here. We definitely have to make some moves. Rule number 1. Let's talk about the offseason. Rule number 1. Re-sign Donovan Mitchell at all costs. You do whatever you have to do. If it's trading Darius Garland, if it's trading Jared Allen, you do just about, I would say just about anything that you have to do to get Donovan Mitchell. Why? We all know Cleveland is not a big market. We're not going to get free agents here. It's going to be very hard to replace someone as good as Donovan Mitchell is in Cleveland through free agency. I mean, possibly we could get somebody through a trade, but we all know when it comes to big marquee stars, Cleveland hasn't been the place. And I mean, the old saying goes, stars like Donovan Mitchell, they don't just grow on trees, especially maybe in places like Los Angeles and other big market, New York, like that, but they sure don't grow in Cleveland. When you get a star player like Donovan Mitchell, you hold on to him. So we have to figure out how we have to go about that, get Donovan Mitchell. As for Darius Garland, there are questions to be asked about Darius Garland. This series, along with last year's series, along with the series against the Magic, is starting to raise some questions. Is Darius Garland really a championship level number 2 option? Because I'm not gonna lie, it's really starting. Everything is pointing to the fact that he might be a third option. I don't know if he can be. He's very inconsistent. He's young. I say all this with a grain of salt because he is young. He's not. He hasn't peaked nowhere near. He's gonna get better, but he's too inconsistent. He's just too inconsistent to be dependent on as your second star. Like if you want to be a championship level team, and like that leads me to my next point with Mobley. I feel like Mobley's development is so crucial for the Cavs. I feel like when we drafted Mobley, everybody saw the comparisons. Tim Duncan, Anthony Davis. I saw some Kevin Garnett's. Although Evan Mobley had a really good series, but there are questions to be had about Mobley. A lot of people believe. I mean, is Mobley really gonna pan out to be a superstar player? Is he gonna be an all-star? I think he's probably really close to that level right now. Will he be a superstar? Is the real question, because this whole experiment I feel like has been so much contingent on his development. Because when we drafted Mobley with that third pick, we full on expected to be getting a guy who would fill into a two-way superstar type role. And as I'm looking at Mobley, I question, can he really be that? Now, this leads me to my next point. Maybe it might be time to move Allen. Maybe it might be time to just let Mobley work at the center, give him the realms, and move Allen, let him, and see how that works. But that's another question to be had. Is Mobley really, will he pan out to be what he was meant or supposed to be or seen to be by many, many people, many scouts, many executives, many experts? We don't know. We still have to see. And then when I think about Donovan Mitchell, when I look at Donovan Mitchell, I feel like everybody just saying he's just going to leave. I feel we should pump the brakes on that a bit, because when you look around the landscape of the league, where is he going to go? Okay, New York. Obviously, everybody's saying New York, New York, New York. Let's be honest, though. If he goes to New York, does that really, for one, can he play well with Brunson? Because Brunson is really ball dominant. Can he play well with Brunson along with Julius Randle, another ball dominant type guy? Would they be able to mesh together? My next question would be, where could he go? Okay, when I look at the Knicks, if he goes to the Knicks, do we look at the Knicks and say, oh yeah, the Knicks are over the top now. They're the Eastern Conference favorite. I mean, if he goes to the Knicks, I don't even know if they're what, are they really a top 2 threat in the Eastern Conference? Do they clear the Milwaukee Bucks healthy with Donovan Mitchell? Do they clear Philadelphia healthy with Joel Embiid healthy? Do they clear? And so my point is, does him going to the Knicks really put the Knicks over the top? And when I look at the landscape of the league, I mean, when you look at Donovan, Cleveland, it seems like it's going to be just, I'm not going to say as best as it's going to get for Donovan Mitchell, but we do have a lot to offer. He's obviously going to be our franchise guy. He's going to be our star. There's going to be no question there. We have a very promising young core. I mean, we were very competitive with everybody. Look, everybody's so thirsty to run up and create Donovan Mitchell rumors that everybody has lost sight of the fact that we just went toe-to-toe with the Eastern Conference favorite, the Boston Celtics, missing Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen, 2 all-star caliber players. Donovan Mitchell, a high-level star in this league. So we have a young core that definitely has potential to build with. And when I look at teams around the league, who could I just drop him on that he just puts over the top? And believe it or not, Donovan Mitchell is still a young player. I say all of that, but I'm going to say this. Let's just kind of backtrack with Donovan Mitchell's career. 5 years in Utah, right? Okay, he gets traded. He comes to the Cavs. He comes to a Cavs team with a promising young core who was on the verge of making the postseason before we had our injuries with Sexton. We had Rubio, who was contributing. We were on our way to becoming a really good team. We were a playoff team at least. So the expectation was, well, okay, you get Donovan Mitchell, he's supposed to raise you to the top and you're supposed to be championship level within 3-4 years. It's been 2 already. When I look at this Cavs team, do I really, like, as constructed right now, do I really, and look at the West, not the West, and look at the East and all the teams around us, do I really think we can rise up to contender status with the teams around us? If I'm being honest, the answer probably is no. And I say this because now for some might say, oh, well, that's why you build, because Darius Garland's young, Jared Allen's young, Mobley's young, Okoro's young. That's why you build. That's why he was brought here to build, which is true. But I also want to provide this point. He did that in Utah already. He spent 5 seasons in Utah doing what he was traded to come here to do, which was build a championship core, build a camaraderie with a team that eventually rises up to championship contender level status. That didn't work out. That didn't work out in Utah, so he came here. Does Donovan Mitchell really, if I'm in, I'm making assumptions, but you just have to pose the question, does Donovan Mitchell really want to do that again? Donovan Mitchell might be at the stage of his career where he feels like, look, I'm at the peak of my prime. I can't be wasting years trying to build with a young core. I need to go somewhere who, if you plug me on that team, on that roster, we are a championship level team right there, right now. We are competing for championships. We're not building to compete for championships. Donovan Mitchell is probably at the stage of his career where he wants to be on a team who is competing for championships, not building to compete for a championship one day down the line. And that's where I have a concern of Donovan Mitchell leaving. I'm not going to lie. It gets scary. I mean, I'm not going to lie. The Cavs do have a lot to think about this offseason, man. We have a lot of thinking to do. Hopefully, like I said, the most important thing is to re-sign Mitch, and then we go from there. If that means trading Darius Garland, trading Allen, you do it. But and then we go from there. So I don't know, man. This offseason is gonna be it's gonna be a ride for Cavs fans. I'm just gonna say that. So we better buckle up and get ready, man. So I mean, that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. My Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all that will be in the description. I mean, until next time. And remember, man, let me know what you guys want to hear me talk about. I want to know what you guys want to hear me talk about. I mean, until next time, I'm out of here.